Assalamualaikum and good morning to all. My name is Saidatul Amelia Natasha, Binti Noor. I will explain about National Vision Policy in year 2001 until 2010. The National Vision Policy will build on efforts set out in the past development plans of the country and improve the foundation of Malaysia transformation into a fully fledged nation in line with Vision 2020. Malaysia aims to be a united nation with a confident society infused with strong moral and ethical values, and not only competitive, dynamic and robust economy. It aims to live in democratic, liberal, tolerant and caring society. 7 things were included in the NVP are the new policy dimension. First, developing Malaysia into a knowledge-based society. Second, generating endogenously driven growth through strengthening domestic investment and developing indigenous capability while continuing to attract foreign direct investment (FDI) in the strategic areas. Third, increasing the dynamism of the agriculture, manufacturing and service sector through greater infusion of knowledge. Fourth, addressing pockets of poverty in remote areas and among orang asli and Bumiputra minorities in Sabah and Sarawak, as well as increasing the income and quality of life those in the lowest 30% income category. The fifth one is achieving effective Bumiputra participation as well as equity ownership of at least 30% by 2010. 6. Increasing the participation of Bumiputra in the leading sectors of the economy. The last one is re-entering human resource development to support a knowledge-based society. The policy is aimed at improving the capability and resolve of the country to face the challenge ahead. This emphasizes the need of build a strong and competitive nation and an equal society in order to guarantee peace and political stability. The quality and profitability of all economic activities should increase the competitiveness of Malaysia. Therefore, economic inequalities between and within ethnic groups and between strata and areas must be resolved so that the Malaysian community achieve harmony and stability. The private sector will drive development and funding for the environment will be offered by the public sector and socio-economic goals will be achieved. The key thrusts under the NVP are the follows. 1. Building resilient nation by fostering unity, inculcating the spirit of patriotism, nurturing political maturity, cultivating a more tolerant and caring society with positive values, raising the quality of life, as well as increasing economic resilience. Second, promoting an equitable society by eradicating poverty and reduce imbalance among and within ethnic group as well as region. Third, sustaining high economic growth by strengthening the source of growth and financial and corporate institutions as well as macroeconomic management. Fourth, enhancing competitiveness to meet the challenge of globalization and liberalization. Fifth, developing a knowledge-based economy as a strategic move to raise the value added of all economic sectors and optimizing the brain power of the nation. 6. Strengthening human resource development to produce competent, productive and knowledgeable workforce. The last one is pursuing environmentally sustainable development to reinforce a long-term growth. The third outline perspective plan, which we call OPP3, which represents the second decade of growth under the Vision 2020, focuses on building a stable and competitive country. Efforts will be made during this period to improve the quality of development and generate high sustainable growth, bringing prosperity to all. In order to establish a harmonious, inclusive and equal society, the national remains the overarching objective of development, taking into account the diversity of Malaysia, ethnic, linguistic, cultural and religious. policy on socio-economic development, which help the improve Malaysian quality of life. The goal continues. The OPP3 was built on the basis of the National Vision Policy (NVP). This policy was adopted. The aim of the NVP is to create successful Bangsa Malaysia which live in harmony and has a full and just partnership with national unity. In conjunction with effort to eradicate poverty and restructure society, economic growth will be encouraged. There will be reduced social, economic and regional imbalance. Design policies to boost material well-being and to enhance sustainability with resilience. The fourth tree will go hand in hand with effort to promote positive social and spiritual values and environmental concern in order to preserve the country's long-term development sustainability. Thank you. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter for the first point.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atiqah Abd Majid and I want to explain about the policy problem in the National Vision Policy. Before that, I would like to thank my previous presenter for explaining about the introduction part. Firstly, as a result of globalization and liberalization, globalization is the greater integration among countries and economies for trade, economic, social, and political benefits. Globalization in trade is also called one global marketplace, where the consumer does not have to restrict their purchases to only one country or economy, and can enjoy the benefits of the goods and the services produced worldwide. Liberalization, though similar to globalization, is more focused on the local economy. As a result, globalization has led to an economic downturn, which has led to the decline of the economy, and the developing country is also known as the developed world. This gives developed countries the power to manipulate the economies of other countries for their own benefit and to be able to influence the minds of third world citizens. Secondly, Malaysia is currently having a very challenging and exciting time, both socially and economically. Like other transitional economies like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, Malaysia is slowly integrating with the global socio-economic level. The integration of countries into the world economy brings with it the potential for growth and prosperity. However, with a strong and well-established government, sound and detailed policies, dynamic private sector and skilled workforce, Malaysia is able to mobilize and respond to the globalization and to take full advantage of the positive effects in globalization. Next, I would like to explain about the main objectives and goals of National Vision Policy. Firstly, among the significance of ethnic unity in Malaysia is to generate a harmonious community. As mentioned, we are definitely well known with existence of multi-ethnic community in our country, like China, Malay, India, Karasan, Murud, and so on. By producing ethnic unity in community, then harmony community with same aspirations can be achieved. As such, as a caring Malaysian, we must produce ethnic unity among Malaysians. When ethnic unity is practiced by Malaysians, the economic persecution will not happen, as everyone will take part justly without slightest feeling of envy in themselves. For example, competition is happening in the business world. Not only that, when the people practicing the nurturing of the people also can evolve the country's economy. Secondly, poverty has become a serious issue for centuries because millions of people have to deal with the risk of starvation every year. It can guide to other issues like poor literacy, unemployment, malnourishment, and others. For instance, there are diverse causes of poverty, but most significant is population. Rising population is putting the burden on the assets and financial plan of countries. Governments are finding strenuous to supply food, shelter, and engagement to the rising population. So, in the National Vision Policy, government making plans such as well-paying job to kickstart job development. Besides, evolve and execute rapid and sustained progress policies and programs in areas such as health, education, nutrition and sanitation. Let the poor take part and engage to the development. That's all from me. Thank you.
I'm Marini Widad, and I will explain about the actors of the policy. So, a policymaker is someone who generates the ideas and plans for the National Vision Policy. As an example is Minister of Cultural, Arts and Tourism Abdul Sheikh, maximizing tourism potential and integrated comprehensive approach will be provided, emphasized to enable the tourism industry to achieve a higher levels of growth. Sustainable tourism industry development is an important part of planning and implementing tourism activities. Efforts will be focused on programs that have the greatest impact on attracting tourists and increasing tourism revenue. Malaysia will be featured as a tourist destination full of festivals and exciting events throughout the year. Other than that is Minister of Finance, Dain Zainuddin. Under the Financial Sector Master Plan, efforts will be focused on establishing a strong core of local banking institutions. At the same time, banking institutions need to continue to play a dynamic role in supporting the economy while maintaining the stability of the banking system. Islamic banking's potential will be further strengthened as a sophisticated and viable system for generating savings and providing investment resources. Institution frameworks and market infrastructure will be strengthened to enable the banking system to function and operate smoothly. Development and research on Islamic financial instruments will be encouraged to generate innovative and customer-oriented products. Minister of International Trade and Industry, Rafida Aziz. During the planned period, local industries are expected to face a greater competition as a result of increased liberalization in line with the formation of Asian Free Trade Area, AFTA, and the World Trade Organization, WTO, agreement. The majority of other developing economies and countries in the transition to market-based economies will further enhance national competition globally. Continued efforts will be made to improve the quality of infrastructure facilities and create a conducive environment for private initiative as well as enhance the development of competitive industry groups.
Thank you for the previous presenter, and I would like to introduce myself again. I am Intan Binti Rahman, and I will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of National Vision Policy. The advantages of National Vision Policy is to maintain the values and culture of the South. Governments often remind us to adopt a culture of eastward perspective. This is because we take example of foreign attitudes and cultures such as Europe, Japan, and South Korea. For example, workers use punch card to record workers' entry and exit time at the early or late at the office. It is also used to record attendance of employees in the office. We can prevent employees from taking prolonged sick leave or coming late to the office. Also, the use of name tags by workers. The use of name tags make it easier for customers to get to know employees as well. When it comes to tagging, customers are easy to find their employees to work with, and it does not take a long time to find an employee. Next, it can form a developed country. Malaysia must commit and strive to respond to this challenge to become a successful nation from all aspects of economic, political, social, spiritual, and cultural development in our way. For example, Malaysia has launched 2 Southeast Asian Malaysian satellites, MIASat-1 and MIASat-2. This made Malaysia one of the few Asian countries which is on space satellite. This program requires money, time and hard work by the applicable parties to keep the program running smoothly. We as Malaysians should be proud that our country has been able to develop such as refined technology for people to communicate. In addition, the Malaysia Space Flight Program that sent the country's first astronaut, Dr. Sheikh Muzaffar Shukr bin Sheikh Mustafa, joined the program in 2007. The astronauts were the result of the Malaysia recent agreement in which Malaysia purchased 18 Russian fighter jets to train and fly Malaysia astronauts on mission to the International Space Station ISS. And finally, create a job vacancy. The government has provided incentive to employees to give them job. Job opportunities are very important for individual to continue their life. Organization has opened many job opportunities and are using platforms like Facebook to promote their aids. The government has introduced job graduates designed for the recruitment of employed graduates over 12 months. The graduate hire will receive a 500 ringgit monthly salary incentive for 2 years. For example, the Food Panda apps is known for delivering food online. The food apps provides a variety of local and Western menus. Food Panda are growing business in economic sector. At this time, the whole country is facing COVID-19 virus infection and people are advised to stay at home during the movement, restrict order and CO. Restaurants do not accept customers to eat in store and can only take away to prevent the spread of the virus from apply. Therefore, online ordering is used 10 times for those who want to order food. This opens up more job opportunities to meet the growing demand. Thank you. I will continue with the disadvantage of National Vision Policy. The disadvantage of National Vision Policy is the problem of social symptoms among teenagers today. In this era of cyberbullying, social symptoms are often viewed in the newspaper as an important issue. One of the reasons teenagers are doing this is because they have no support or lack of affection from their families. Families do not spend with their children at home, causing them to spend the night with other friends. For example, activities that take place every weekend include hanging out, illegal racing, drug addiction, and so on. Therefore, home-based education provided by parents in shaping children's personality. The teenagers are the Y generation who will lead our country in the future. They are the leaders who are responsible for the development of our country. Next, lack of community practice. Malaysia is known for its multi-ethnic population like the Malays, Chinese, Indians, and others. People find it difficult to understand the belief of others. Their individualistic nature makes them more inclined to do their own thing regardless of the people around them. The community should show tolerance towards one another in order to cooperate and communicate well. Various community activities have been conducted to foster good values such as open houses, mutual aid, visit to interesting places, and more. Lastly, people who lack a knowledge of information and community technology (ICT). There are few individuals who are not smart enough to use advanced technology. Those who do not have access to this technology find it difficult to obtain important information at any given time. Due to COVID-19, information should be provided on television or mobile phones. MKN and MOH have incentive by sending health or safety SMS issued by the Prime Minister Health Minister, and Defence Minister until now. Therefore, the use of technology is important so that people who do not miss out important inputs. That's all for me. Thank you, and I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you for the previous presenter. And before that, I would like to introduce myself again. I am Intan Najihah Abdul Rahman, and I will elaborate about the advantages of National Vision Policy. The advantages of National Vision Policy is to maintain the values and culture of the South. Governments often remind us to adopt a culture of eastward perspective. This is because we take example of foreign attitudes or cultures such as Europe, Japan, and South Korea. For example, workers use a punch card to record workers' entry and exit time, either early or late at the office. It is also used to record the attendance of the employees in the office. We can prevent employees from taking prolonged sick leave or coming late to the office. Also, the use of name tags by the workers. The use of name tag makes it easier for customer to get to know the employees as well. When it comes to tagging, customer are easy to find the employee they want to work with, and it doesn't take a long time to find an employee. Next, it can form a developed country. Malaysia must commit and strive to respond to this challenge to become a successful nation from all aspects of economic, political, social, spiritual, and cultural development in our own way. For example, Malaysia has launched 2 Southeast Asian Malaysian satellites, MEASAT-1 and MEASAT-2. This made Malaysia one of the few ASEAN countries with its own space satellites. This program requires money, time, hard work by the applicable parties to keep the program running smoothly. This program is not easy to run because it requires high cost and sophisticated equipment. We as Malaysians should be proud our country has been able to develop such refined technology for people to communicate. In addition, the Malaysia Space Flight Program that sent the country's first astronaut, Dr. Sheikh Mustafa, joined the program in 2007. The astronaut were result of the Malaysia-Russian agreement in which Malaysia purchased 18 Russian fighter jets to train and fly Malaysian astronauts on mission to the International Space Station ISS. In conclusion, Malaysia has achieved success in many areas that are equal with investment. Finally, create a job vacancy. The government has provided incentives to employees to give them jobs. Job opportunities are very important for individuals to continue their life. Organization has opened many job opportunities and are using platforms like Facebook to promote their ads. The government has introduced job graduates designed for recruitment and employed graduate over.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Nur Amirah Diyana Binti Ramli, going to discuss about the recommendation of National Vision Policy 2001 until 2010. There are many benefits that we can gain from the National Vision Policy, and first I want to recommend the government to expand business of the company and organization in public and private sector. It is because of to make sure they can compete the global competitor and challenges. And it is also to make sure our business country stay productive. Then we need to expand and increase our country business. If we can expand business of the country, then we can achieve the fourth strategy of National Vision Policy, which is enhancing competitiveness to meet the challenges of globalization and liberalization. By that, the country can increase their performance and stay competitive within other countries. Secondly is, I want to recommend the government to put more effort on make the society united. It is because of Our country, Malaysia, has a variety of races and religion, and our country also always have an issue between ethnic group and religion of people. So if this problem always occur within our society, then it will make the situation and harmonize of the country become worse. In order to make sure the country stay harmonized, we need to make the society united together. For instance, the general public need to reinforce versatility by being progressively confident and less subject to outsiders. More noteworthy strength can be accomplished when inefficient utilization, useless venture, and degenerate practices are dispensed with. It likewise can be cultivated within the organization and government division practice great administration through more noteworthy straightforwardness and responsibility. By that, we can develop Malaysia as a nation of united. Next, the third recommendation that I want to recommend is I want to recommend government to put more focus on B40 groups. It is because of there are imbalance among societies and ethnic groups, and this B40 group is in crisis and financial problem, and they need government support to make sure they can live happily. Many of B40 groups has financial problem because of the high standard of living in Malaysia. They struggle to survive due to this economic position, which is increases standards of living. And usually the government always put more focus on the village group because of the village people has and financial problem. But the government forget about the B40 group, which is the situation is became turnover. The village group turned into rich people, and the B40 group turned into poor people. The government forget about the B40 groups because of most of them usually stay in city, and government might think that people who live in city is a rich people that no need any fare or something, any help. But it is strongly wrong statement. Because of this situation, I think government need to help and put more focus on the B40 group. For example, government help them by give them fair money, houses, and so on. So it is to make sure we can reduce the imbalance among the within ethnic group and eradicating poverty. By this recommendation, we can reduce the imbalancing among the within ethnic group as well as region. Next, other than that, I recommend to government to create more job opportunities. It is because of increases in rating of jobless or unemployed is the after effect of a financial cycle. So an economic may at first eject and meet an afterward bounce back. The economy is in a downturn when total spending fall. The fall in total spending has driven bosses to lessen work requests due to the declining creation in the economy. So proceed with decrease in labor requests will bring about joblessness in the country. So I think government need to create more job opportunities for everyone to make sure also the people who live in this country can live harmoniously and happily with the standard of living, the really high standard of living, and they can survive if they have a work or a job. By that, if the country create many job opportunities for people, it can reduce also the rate of unemployment, and at the same time they can generate a good economy for the country and so on. So in a nutshell, I think we should together united and together advance our country to be more competitive and successful. That's all for me. Thank you.
So for the conclusion, MPV has 7 important thrusts which are promoting equitable society, sustaining economic growth, meeting global competition, building a resilient nation, developing a knowledge based on economy, strengthening HRD, and lastly pursuing environmentally sustainable development. The new dimension of the national vision policy that are transforming Malaysia into a knowledge-based economy, stimulating indigenous growth by improving domestic investment, enhancing the dynamism of farming, manufacturing, and service sectors, resolving poverty pockets and growing the income and quality of life of those with the lowest income of 30% category, achieving successful Bumiputra participant as well as equity ownership of the least 30% by 2010, rising Bumiputra's involvement in leading economic sectors and reorienting the production of human capital to sustain a knowledge-based society. That's all from us. Thank you.